Alright, this is finally, it has come, it has arrived. I have gotten the internet to be able to actually upload something. Anyways, it's been a while, I'm sorry. Literally, my internet for the last year has been dial-up. I mean, it's ADSL, so uploading anything other than the occasional Facebook video was pretty much impossible. It would take up to a day to download something, let alone upload. So here we are. Finally, we're making another straight razor. We're doing it on camera. I'm gonna show you guys how it's done by me. Everyone's different. So if you're watching this and you see another video, great one is by Charlie Lewis, and you see him doing it differently, that's because that's Charlie Lewis. Charlie Lewis does it differently. He makes great razors, beautiful, and everyone does it differently. So this is the way I make straight razors, and today on this particular video, we're going to be making a smiling 8/8 straight razor with midnight blue Kieranite scales. You can see it on my website at jacobrayrazors.com. It should be called the Midnight Smiling Razor. Thank you. I'm going to start grinding. see the belt kind of flutter off to the side? It's pretty good indication that I don't have it tight enough. Pretty simple. You see the belt flutter off to the side? That's like an indication basically that I need to tighten up the belt a little bit. Now, it should move, it does move side to side a little bit. That's not a tracking issue. This is an amazing grinder. But it shouldn't do that. It should never shoot off to the side. So if you're using your grinder, whether it be homemade or a nice Sphere 454 like this one, and it does that, just tighten it up a little bit. That's all. Oh no, we got a razor, but it's got all these weird angles that I need to put into it. Maybe you can't tell, but my mind, I know what I need to do. Don't worry, Knife Grinder Parts got you covered. And this is not a sponsored advertisement by them, because if they want to, I'll take it. Anyways, I just have this really cool part that they had kind of covered for me. And I mean, you can buy it other places and it'd be fine, but Knife Grinder Parts has it all in one. So if you want to do really knives, straight razors, anything where you're going to have these small radiuses, and they're really great on knives for like finger notches and stuff like that. But it's hard to do, to get it nice and even like that with flat plating. So head on over to knifegrinderparts.com. It makes it a heck of a lot easier. I know you can probably find them a little bit cheaper on eBay, but let's be honest, sometimes it's just a little bit worth spending a little bit more money for a lot less hassle. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the Knife Grinder Parts small wheel accessory kit. Everything I got on that website, it's been a while, I don't know what price it is. I've had it for years now, so if you're wondering about longevity, it lasts. So that's how I'm going to handle these. Knife Grinder Parts, the small wheel accessory bit. Where did I put it? There. Thanks, Sphere Grinders, for making that super easy. I'm just kidding. I'm really happy with my tools. They've been really great. The Sphere Grinder I've had for 3 years now. So, again, not sponsored, but if you are in the market, I do recommend the Sphere 454. I should know that. It's like one of my favorite muscle car engines. Anyways, that's how easy it is to swap them out. Again, Knife Grinder Parts made it like super good for this particular grinder. And then Jose over at Jose, I think it's Jose. Like I said, it's been 3 years. I really apologize if I got your name wrong. But the Sphere 454 made it good too. Go ahead and get grinding. Turn it down. Nice and round. So this is step one for me. I profile it. I set everything basically as close as I can get to a 90-degree angle. It's a little bit off, but I'll come back through and fix that. And everything is basically done as far as the shape. Yeah, there will be a little bit down the line, but this is pretty much it. I can go ahead and take everything off. And there's something I've been wanting to say. If you see me kind of going through and like that, I'm actually just deburring it. I'm trying to avoid cutting myself, avoid getting a burr on there that kind of hangs it up a little bit, changing the angle. So it's just important to go ahead and do that. You can do it with file or sandpaper, but I got that. Why wouldn't I do it? Next step is going to be going on over to the drill press and drilling the pivot holes. And actually there's a couple of like decorative holes as well that I'll be putting in there. So you can go ahead and, I don't know, get excited to see some holes drilled. Not the most scene-changing part. Alright, on this step I actually have a couple of things to note. The drill press is this. It's just the basic drill press. This is the one tool I would like to replace for one reason and one reason alone. Okay, and that one reason is 90 degrees. It's so important, so important to get it exact 90 at this point, because right now I'm drilling the pivot hole. And as you can see, if it doesn't come in, if it comes at like 90.5 or 89.5, what's going to happen is when this pivots in the scales, it's going to be ever so slightly off. And that has been a problem that I've been kind of like fighting forever. And I couldn't figure out what it was. I was like, why in the world are my blades doing this? You know, they're flat. They're drilled on a drill press. What's going on? Well, with this particular drill press, that controls the angle. I mean, you can tell it's such a pain in the butt for me. I actually have a wrench there waiting to adjust it. And I do this once a week now. And sometimes I'll check it, I mean, every other day with an actual square to make sure that it's 90, because if it's not, I'll end up with having to redo a blade. And that sucks, because who wants to redo their work? Anyways, so got my drill press set to 90, checked it, double checked it, triple checked it. Low speed is very vital. Now, the lowest possible speed you can go, the better. You're going to have less heat, your drill bits are going to last longer, and you're not going to get them stuck in your blade, because I cannot tell you how absolutely frustrating it is to get your drill bits stuck in your blade. They're made of hard metal. At this point, not hardened metal, and getting it out, it's a battle of the ages every single time. Alright, I'm going to shut up, start drilling. Alright, so I did break off a bit in there, but it's actually not that big of a deal this time, because it was so far in, you can see it, the little bulge. So when I start grinding, I'll be able to punch it through with another drill bit. That's lucky. A little bit of Dicam to help me know what the heck I'm doing as I do it. Basic layout fluid. I bought this on Amazon. Not very expensive. Not necessary either, but I like it, so I use it. Now we let it dry, and we'll start grinding. Why I love layout fluid. It's the best. So, pre-heat treat grind. It's not going to be very thin. If I do, we'll end up with a bad heat treat warp. So, I'm going to bring it down to about 1 millimeter thick. Sorry, I don't know why I'm using millimeters, but that's what I do. And so, I used that, kind of measured it, took out 1 millimeter, split it in half, blah, 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 basic mathematics. Time for my 36 grit preheat treat grind. And this is brought to you, and this actually is sponsored because these guys are awesome. These belts are from Phoenix Abrasives. So, go ahead and, like I said before, check them out. hour. Alright, so that's what I call the preheat treat grind. Obviously it's not thin, obviously it's not done. This is the main difference though between a knife maker and a straight razor maker, is that when I made knives I was done. That was pretty much it. All I had to do was heat treat and a little bit of extra work, sharpen, and you know, it's done. But as you know, straight razors are thin, very thin. And the difference is that you don't achieve that thinness by preheat treat grinds. If I were to try and do that now and then heat treat it in the quench, which is going to take this, heat it up to 1500 degrees Fahrenheit, and then cool it down to about 200 using this high-tech machine here known as a jar of oil, it would work. Simply because it doesn't all cool at the same rate, believe it or not. And when this side cools slightly, ever so slightly faster, it pulls, and likewise this side will do it. And the whole thing's pulling on itself. And if it's too thin, you'll notice, I've noticed it really bad before because I had to learn the hard way, was that it would do this. And that's just basic pushing or pulling and pulling and pulling. from going from really high loose molecules and atoms to really cold tight molecules and atoms. The best way to describe this actually is to check out a glass blower. There's this old glass blowing technique, and I think it's called like Prince Rupert's drop or something. There's a video on YouTube about it, and I'll probably link you to it to describe, why that happens, because that will show you in glass it's similar to what it does in metal. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and heat treat this, which means I can flip on my oven, put the program in, walk away, wait for it to beep, come back. So you guys will see that. There you go. That's it. That's the great thing about having a good oven. Now, I used to do this in the forge. Totally doable. Forges are cheap to make, relatively cheap to operate, great fun. So if you want to go ahead and get your starting, which I'm assuming that everyone who's watching this video has some interest in it, go ahead and start with forge. That's about a $1,000 tool. Worth it though. Alright, so that was part one. We're going to separate them between part one and part two. Part one being preheat treat, part two, everything else. So basically part two will include secondary grind, kind of keeping it cool as I go. It's going to include acid etching, scale making, and I'm not going to include sharpening because there's a million videos on sharpening. So just check those out. I might do a video specifically on sharpening, but this is also a smiling razor, so that'd be a whole different video in itself. So go ahead and hold up for a second. I'm gonna wait for it to heat treat. I'm actually waiting right now, and then I'm gonna go down there and keep recording. So I know last time I only did part one and I never did part two. Sorry. Today I'm definitely gonna do part two. So if you're interested, hold up. It'll come in. This video is already like 30 minutes long, so